Hayato Suo full life story explain. Power doesn't need to shout. True strength is calm, precise, and kind. Part 1, The Mysterious Beginning. Hayato Suo is not your typical student at Furin High. From the very moment he appears, there's something captivating about him, his calm demeanor, his elegant posture, and most of all, his overwhelming composure in the face of chaos. No one really knows where Hayato comes from. He appears out of nowhere, with no stories of past glory, no rumors, and no drama trailing behind him. He speaks little of his origins. His classmates guess he's from a martial arts background, his movements are too perfect, too refined to be amateur. Some even believe he's the son of a famous fighter, or trained in a hidden temple deep in the mountains. But when asked, Hayato only smiles and gives no answer. My past is quiet, like me. From early on, Hayato chose to live without noise. He preferred to listen instead of speak, to observe rather than interrupt. But behind his silence was a highly intelligent, deeply empathetic individual who watched everything and missed nothing. Part 2, A Mind Sharper Than a Blade. Hayato's greatest strength was never just his fighting ability, it was his mind. He was a master of strategy, timing, and observation. When fights broke out at Furin, Hayato didn't rush in recklessly. Instead, he calculated. He looked for the weakest point in the enemy's structure. He examined posture, breathing, and patterns. Then, when the moment was right, he'd strike, once, fast, and with absolute control. This made him feared. And admired. Despite being a first year, he held the poise of a seasoned warrior. He never raised his voice. He never bragged. He never needed to. His presence was enough. His appearance matched his persona. He wore a traditional Chinese changshan under his uniform and an eye patch over his right eye. When asked why he wore it, he smiled and replied, "To seal the dragon within." Was he joking? Was he serious? No one knew. And that mystery only made him more fascinating. Part 3, Joining Furin High, The Calm Before the Storm. Furin High was known for one thing, strength. Not just physical power, but the ability to stand up for others, to protect the weak, and to rise against injustice. The school had transformed itself from a delinquent den to a force of guardians who watched over Mikochi town. When Hayato entered Furin, he didn't come to fight. He came to find purpose. From day one, he was assigned to class 1-1, alongside Haruka Sakura and Akihiko Nairai. Unlike Haruka, who was wild and aggressive, or Nairai, who was friendly and cheerful, Hayato sat in the back, quietly observing them both. He never forced his opinions. But when he spoke, people listened. He quickly became a cornerstone of the class, showing calm in every situation, and offering wise insight when decisions had to be made. Part 4, The Formation of the Vice-Ravana Unit. As Class 1-1 prepared for a new wave of challenges, a specialized team was created, the Vice-Ravana Unit, to protect the class and support the larger efforts of Bofurin, Furin's guardian force. The members: Haruka Sakura, the fierce and relentless frontliner. Akihiko Nairai, the warm and spirited heart of the group. Hayato Suo, the mind and balance behind them both. Hayato became the vice-captain, working beside Haruka. While Haruka charged into battle like a hurricane, Hayato acted as the eye of the storm, guiding, supporting, and neutralizing threats before they could escalate. Together, the trio became one of the most effective first-year teams in Furin High's history. Part 5, The Fight Against Kanuma, a Turning Point. One of Hayato's most memorable moments came during the confrontation with Kanuma, a brute from a rival gang. Kanuma underestimated Hayato. He saw a quiet kid with soft eyes and an eye patch. But Hayato, without raising his voice, dismantled him in seconds. He didn't just win the fight, he humiliated Kanuma with nothing but clean counters, calculated dodges, and surgical strikes. And he did it without a drop of rage. You don't need fury to be fierce. This battle made it clear, Hayato wasn't just smart, he was deadly. But more than that, it revealed something about his nature. He would never use his power for cruelty, but he would never allow cruelty to go unpunished. Part 6, Words of Wisdom, Actions of Peace. Though he rarely spoke in long sentences, Hayato had a gift for saying exactly what needed to be said. Some of his guiding philosophies included: the first strike isn't always the strongest. The last one is. Pride is loud. Discipline is quiet. A calm heart can break the fiercest storm. These lines weren't just words. They defined his every move. In every mission, he checked on his classmates first. He looked out for Akihiko when he felt insecure. He trained privately with Haruka to help him develop control. He even brewed tea before battles, to keep the mind focused and warm. Part 7, The Hidden Pain. For all his composure, Hayato wasn't without wounds. There were hints, in quiet scenes, of a painful past. A scar beneath the eye patch. His discomfort around hospitals. The way he avoided questions about family. It's believed Hayato carries emotional scars as well as physical ones. Maybe he was abandoned. Maybe he trained under someone who betrayed him. Maybe he lost someone he swore to protect. Whatever it was, it made him silent, not broken. It made him gentle, not weak. And most of all, it made him devoted to protecting others, so they would never suffer as he once did. Part 8, Friendship with Nairai and Haruka. While he showed kindness to many, his bond with Akihiko Nairai was unique. Nairai, loud and emotional, was Hayato's opposite in many ways, but they completed each other. Nairai brought laughter into Hayato's world. Hayato brought peace into Nairai's heart. With Haruka, he shared silent respect. They sparred, studied together, and trained. Hayato saw in Haruka the fire he lacked, and Haruka saw in Hayato the calm he needed. Together, they weren't just teammates, they were a perfect balance. Part 9, Growth as a Leader. As battles grew tougher and threats grew stronger, Hayato began to take on more leadership. He didn't want the spotlight, but people naturally followed him. He learned to give speeches when needed. To comfort frightened students. To stop fights with a single word. He evolved from a silent support to a central pillar of Class 1 strength. Part 10, Legacy in the Making. Hayato Suo's story is far from over. But already, he's become one of the most trusted minds in Furin High. A symbol of discipline and peace. A living legend among first years. What makes him unforgettable isn't just his skill. It's his silence. His stillness. His kindness. In a world where strength is often loud and brutal, Hayato Suo proves that the quietest voice can echo the longest. Conclusion, The Dragon Within. Hayato Suo may never tell his full story. He may never shout, boast, or break down. But in his actions, his teachings, and his presence, he tells us everything we need to know. He is the silent storm. The poised protector. The man who walks calmly into chaos, and walks out, unchanged. The end this video.